The universe keeps its own scorecard. Every action, every intention, whether spoken out loud or whispered in secret, is accounted for. Those who tried to block your path, who thought they could throw thorns and remain untouched, are now being taught a harsh truth. Fate doesn't forget. The same hands that built traps for your downfall are now caught in them. That's cosmic balance, unseen, undeniable, and always on time. My dear chosen one, this message is for you. You've been moving in silence, building in the shadows, while critics watched, waiting for your collapse. But here's the twist. They didn't realize that the pressure they applied was the exact force that sharpened your rise. Irony, isn't it? Their schemes became the blueprint of your breakthrough, their jealousy, a mirror reflecting their own inadequacy. You were never the villain in their story, you were the threat. Your presence disturbs their comfort, your detachment feels like punishment, and your progress? That's their worst nightmare. See, when you carry the kind of energy that can't be copied, you haunt people just by existing. That's the power of being chosen. You weren't made to blend in. You were designed to disrupt everything that was built on falsehood. The universe isn't just watching you. So if you're ready to keep walking in that power, like the force you are, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment 999 if you feel the shift unfolding. This isn't the end. It's just the beginning of a very loud silence. What you're experiencing isn't random. It's recognition. These shifts, these whispers of breakthrough, they don't happen to just anyone. Only the chosen ones will understand this kind of alignment. The rest will call it coincidence because they've never walked your path. Stay with me until the end, because what's coming next is only for those bold enough to keep choosing faith over fear. Number 1, stop ignoring the small choices. That's where destiny hides. Have you ever realized how quiet power actually sounds? It's not in loud speeches or dramatic exits. It's in the moments no one sees. It's in the stillness of your choice when your whole world was trembling. While others looked for an audience, you made decisions in silence that only the universe heard. And that's exactly where destiny begins. In whispers, not war drums. Chosen one, let me tell you something that most people will never understand. The biggest shifts in your life didn't happen when everything was going well. They happened when everything was on fire, and you chose not to burn. You chose to walk through it. It wasn't the dramatic, picture-perfect scenes that changed everything. It was the night you refused to let a negative thought spiral into self-destruction. It was the moment you sat with your fear but didn't let it drive. It was the day you decided to move forward anyway, with shaking hands, tired eyes, and no applause. That's what set you apart, and it didn't go unnoticed. See, people think power is built in public, but real power, it's crafted behind closed doors. When you choose integrity over chaos, belief over doubt, and elevation over reaction, you planted seeds when no one was watching, and now something is moving underground. It might have been something simple, filling out that application even when you thought you weren't enough, making that call you kept putting off, picking up the pieces of a dream you almost buried. These aren't small acts. They're pressure points, and each time you pressed them, you cracked open something cosmic. Have you ever watched someone rise slowly and wondered how? It's not magic. It's those unseen victories stacking up like dominoes. And now, the top is ready to fall in your favor. You're not here by accident. The storm didn't break you. It taught you to breathe underwater, and the decisions you made back then, they weren't small. They were survival moves wrapped in silence. But survival was just the start. You were building a new code. Now that code is being read. And here's the twist. Someone powerful, someone with access, someone with reach, they noticed. They saw the weight you carried alone. They felt the shift when you walked in rooms like you belonged, even when you weren't welcomed. And now, a door is unlocking. You're not waiting on permission anymore. You are the invitation. The truth is, the very acts that seemed like nothing at the time, they were your declaration to the universe. I'm ready. And the universe, it answered. So if you ever questioned whether your choices mattered, let this be your confirmation. They did, they do, and now the reward isn't just coming, it's already unfolding. Number 2, don't chase influence, live right, and let power find you. The moment you start chasing influence, you've already placed it above you. But when you stand in your truth, unbothered, unmoved, and unshaken, that's when real power starts looking for you. Chosen one, here's the truth they don't want to admit. The loudest person in the room is rarely the one with the most impact. Power doesn't rush. Power doesn't beg. Power attracts. And you've been walking like that. Even when you weren't fully aware of it, you didn't need to scream to be heard. You didn't need to pretend to be seen. You became magnetic simply by living right. When people couldn't understand why you weren't clout chasing or playing the game, they called you distant, cold, too much. But the truth? You were too aligned to bend for attention, too aware to settle for spotlight tricks and ego crumbs. That kind of discipline haunts people who depend on outside validation to feel whole. You don't need to chase influence when you've already become a frequency. Real power travels. Word of mouth, silent admiration, whispered recognition. People you've never met have watched how you carry yourself in storms and chosen you before you ever entered the room. Let others run in circles chasing approval. You built character while they built personas. You chose depth over drama. And now the reward is catching up, because real ones always rise. Not because they forced the world to look at them, but because the world couldn't help but notice. Your influence doesn't come from chasing, it comes from alignment. And when your energy is right, the doors don't just open, they swing off the hinges. You were never meant to beg for space. You are the space. You're the room shifter, the one whose presence alone stirs curiosity, fear, envy, and respect, all at the same time. So stay solid, stay real, because when you live right, the right ones, those with true power, find you. And when they do, they won't ask you to prove anything. They'll already know who you are. Queens, write this affirmation in the comments. I don't chase, I align and attract. And if this message speaks to your spirit, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and keep walking like the chosen one you are, because the world's been watching and your moment is on its way. Number 3, if you're not ready, the door will slam shut. Prepare now. Chosen one, here's the truth no one likes to say out loud. Opportunity doesn't knock twice for those who aren't prepared to open the door the first time. The moment is coming, the door is creaking, the air is shifting, and if you're not ready to walk through it, that opportunity will vanish faster than it appeared. The universe doesn't wait for hesitation. It moves with the brave. It moves with the prepared. There's a difference between waiting and wasting time. Some people confuse stillness with stagnation, but not you. You're not called to sit in silence, hoping for luck. You're called to sharpen your tools, master your craft, and stand in front of that door like you were born to enter it. Because you were. When that moment hits, whether it's a message, a connection, a spotlight, or a chance you never thought you'd get, you won't have time to start preparing. You either show up ready or you watch it slip through your hands like smoke. Have you ever seen someone freeze at the finish line? It's not because they weren't good enough, it's because they thought they had more time. But life doesn't ask if you're ready, it reveals who is. So here's your wake-up call. This isn't about fear. This is about readiness. This is about proving to the universe that when it places the torch in your hand, you don't drop it. You run with it. Chosen ones don't wait to become ready. They decide to be ready. And in that decision, they unlock doors others never even see. This is your warning and your weapon. Prepare now or regret later. Drop 777 in the comments if you're ready to rise when the door swings open. Like the video and subscribe, because what's next is only for those who are fully locked in. Number 4. Reject the lone struggle. You're blocking the help sent for you. Chosen one, you weren't meant to carry the entire world on your back. That weight you've been dragging, that silence you've been screaming through, it's not strength, it's survival in disguise. And if you're not careful, you'll confuse endurance with purpose and miss the support that was sent to lift you higher. You've worn solitude like armor, maybe because every time you reached out in the past, the hands you grabbed either slipped away or twisted into betrayal. So you learned to walk alone. You became the quiet storm, the one who handles everything, trusts no one, and still shows up with fire in your eyes. But here's the plot twist. Help isn't weakness, and isolation isn't noble. Some of the very blessings you've been waiting on are wrapped in the form of people, aligned souls, carriers of keys you can't duplicate. But when you shut everyone out, you don't look strong, you look unreachable, and the universe won't force open doors you keep bolting shut. There's power in knowing when to receive, real power. It takes more courage to open up than it does to shut down. The right help won't try to control you, change you, or dim you. It will amplify you. Have you ever noticed how some breakthroughs only come after surrender? After you stop pretending you're fine and admit you're ready to go further, but not alone this time. Chosen one, your energy is rare, and rare energy attracts rare assistance. People who see your vision before you even finish the sentence. People who feel your unspoken pain and still choose to show up. That kind of support, it's not random, it's sent. But if you reject it, if you keep playing the lone hero, you'll block the very reinforcement designed to take you from surviving to soaring. Stop shrinking your needs to fit other people's expectations. Stop apologizing for needing rest, support, or collaboration. You're not here to prove you can do it alone. You're here to prove that alignment is real. So ask yourself, what kind of help have you been secretly praying for, but too proud to receive? That may just be your next breakthrough, wearing a human face. Number 5. Not every hand that reaches is here to lift you. Discern the trap. Chosen one, not every hand extended toward you is there to help. Some come wrapped in silk, but carry poison beneath the surface. And the higher you rise, the more subtle the traps become. See, when you were struggling, invisible, unheard, no one came running. But now that your energy is shifting, now that your frequency is harder to copy, the same people who ignored your climb are trying to reappear as helpers. Don't be fooled by timing. Sometimes the return of a person is not a reconnection, it's a test. Your growth has put you on radars you never even knew existed, and some of those radars are built to track threats, not celebrate them. You are a threat to mediocrity, a danger to the fake. That's why you'll notice the sudden attention, the offers to collaborate, the masks of support worn by those who once cheered for your silence. But here's the truth, they're not clapping for your rise, they're clapping to get close enough to control it. You must learn to look beyond surface intentions. Ask yourself, does this energy feel aligned or off? Real support doesn't make you second-guess your vision. It doesn't drain you. It doesn't guilt you into giving more than you should. The trap often looks like opportunity, but it smells like desperation once you get close enough. There is a reason snakes shed their skin. It's to look new, but underneath, it's still a snake. Don't confuse rebranding with rebirth. You are no longer in the stage where you can afford to accept everything that looks like help. You're being positioned for something greater, and with that comes the responsibility to protect your path. Discernment is your armor now. So when a hand reaches for you, pause, feel, sense, trust what can't be explained. Some hands are ladders, some are leashes. And you, chosen one, were never meant to be tethered. Your light doesn't need permission. Your purpose doesn't require validation. Protect it at all costs, because those who couldn't stop your rise through resistance may try it now through infiltration. Stay sharp, stay sacred, and remember, not every door is divine, and not every smile is safe. Number 6. Isolation feels strong, but it's secretly stealing your power. There's a dangerous illusion that many strong ones fall for. The belief that doing it alone means doing it better. Silence becomes the armor, isolation becomes the badge, and the world applauds your strength, never realizing it's costing you everything. Chosen one, you've spent so much time pulling yourself out of dark places that the idea of needing anyone else feels foreign, even weak. You became the fixer, the healer, the one who held it all together when no one else showed up. But here's the truth the world won't tell you. Isolation tricks you into thinking you're in control, while slowly draining the very power that makes you unstoppable. You weren't meant to do this alone. The universe didn't design you to be a lone wolf in every battle. There are people, specific, aligned souls, who carry keys to your next level. But they'll only meet you if you stop hiding behind the story that solitude is your only safety. It's okay to rest. It's okay to protect your peace. But don't mistake protection for imprisonment. Yes, your independence kept you alive, but your connection is what will make you thrive. Have you noticed how drained you feel after carrying everything alone? That's not power, it's depletion. Even the strongest foundations crack when there's no support. And the chosen ones? You weren't chosen to just survive. You were chosen to build something that echoes beyond you. You are the blueprint. You are the signal others have been waiting to find. But they can't find you if you keep the light off. So ask yourself, are you isolating because it's necessary or because it feels safer than being seen? Don't let past betrayal convince you that everyone's out to break you. Not everyone is a threat. Some people are assignments. Some connections are miracles in disguise. And sometimes letting the right people in is the breakthrough. Drop the armor, Queen. Shed the silence. You're not losing strength. You're reclaiming it. Affirm it with me. Connection multiplies my power. If you feel that truth in your soul, comment it below, Queens. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because we're just getting started building your empire. Number 7. Apologizing for your rise will keep you stuck. Stand tall anyway. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life when the room goes quiet. Not out of respect, but out of discomfort. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because your growth makes others squirm. And here's where the trap waits. You start shrinking yourself just to make the insecure feel safe. Don't fall for it. Apologizing for your rise is a slow form of self-erasure. You don't even realize it's happening. It starts with brushing off your wins, minimizing your efforts, dimming your light just enough so it doesn't reflect too harshly on someone else's lack of progress. But here's the truth no one will say out loud. Your light was meant to be seen, and your success, it was never meant to be a secret. You weren't chosen to walk softly just because others didn't do the work. You weren't elevated to pretend you're still on the floor. And no, you're not lucky. You're aligned. You didn't get here by chance. You got here by faith, by discipline, by saying yes when everything around you screamed no. If someone feels uncomfortable watching you rise, that discomfort is their invitation to grow, not your cue to backtrack. Chosen one, you're not here to make everyone feel okay. You're here to shift the atmosphere just by walking in. You're here to be a mirror, the kind that forces people to confront what they've been avoiding in themselves. And yes, that makes people nervous, but it also makes you unforgettable. You don't need to defend your success. You don't need to over-explain your journey, and you definitely don't owe anyone an apology for stepping into your purpose. The ones who talk behind your back now will one day use your name in rooms you've never even walked into, not because you bowed your head, but because you kept it high. So don't dilute your power to fit into spaces you've already outgrown. You weren't built for small. Stand tall, own it, be loud in your silence. Let your life do the talking. And if you feel this in your spirit, queens, drop this in the comments. I don't apologize for rising. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, because this is just the beginning, and you were made for the top. Number 8. If the spotlight scares you, you'll never own your stage. Chosen one, let's cut to the truth. You weren't made to hide. That light inside you, it wasn't given to be dimmed. But here's the real question. Why does the spotlight feel like a threat instead of a throne? If the spotlight makes you shrink, you'll never grow into the role that was written for you. You'll keep tiptoeing around your own power while people with half your potential steal stages you were born to dominate. And that's the trap. Fear of being seen keeps chosen ones stuck in the shadows, but you were never meant to blend in. You are the contrast. See, the moment people start watching you, the pressure kicks in. The doubts get louder. The mind starts whispering, what if I fail? What if I'm not enough? But you've already survived storms in silence. Why should the light scare you now? The spotlight doesn't expose your flaws. It reveals your truth. And here's the plot twist. The very people watching you, some are secretly hoping you fall. Not because you're weak, but because your courage reminds them of everything they ran from. This is where many break, but not you. You weren't just given strength, you built it. Every painful experience, every silent victory, every moment you chose growth over comfort shaped this exact moment. You've earned the right to stand tall, not in arrogance, but in awareness of what you've overcome. And when you step fully into who you are, without flinching, without apologizing, something happens. The same spotlight that once felt like pressure becomes power. You don't just speak, you command. You don't just walk in, you shift the atmosphere. So if the spotlight still scares you, ask yourself this. Are you afraid of being seen? Or are you afraid of realizing how powerful you really are? Queens, write this in the comments. I'm not hiding. I'm here to own it. Like the video and subscribe. We're just getting started. Your stage is waiting. Number 9. Stop feeding off applause. You're not here to perform. There's a moment in every chosen one's journey when the applause gets louder than the purpose. That moment is dangerous, because while the praise might feel like validation, it's a performance trap dressed up as progress. And you weren't chosen to entertain, you were chosen to transform. Don't mistake attention for alignment. Applause can be addictive. It tricks you into molding your light to fit the room, instead of making the room shift around your light. That's not power, that's performance. And the longer you dance for acceptance, the more you starve the version of you that was born to disrupt. Chosen one, your path is not built for constant claps. In fact, the most powerful stages you'll ever stand on won't even have an audience. Some of your most important moves will be misunderstood, questioned, even rejected. But that's not a sign to stop. That's a sign that you're shaking the right foundations. What you carry can't be crowd-approved, because the truth is, not everyone clapping for you wants to see you win. Some clap to keep you performing, some clap to distract you from outgrowing them, and some are only comfortable when your light shines just enough to entertain, but not enough to expose their shadows. Let them watch, let them misunderstand, let them gossip, but never let them redirect your mission. You weren't chosen to be liked, you were chosen to be remembered, for the way you moved in silence, for the way you showed up when no one believed, and for the way you stood tall, even when the spotlight dimmed. Number 10. Don't hoard the blessing, use it or lose it. Chosen one. When life hands you a key, don't just hang it on the wall like a trophy. Use it to unlock something greater. That blessing you received, it wasn't just for comfort, it was a calling. You weren't handed breakthrough energy just to sit in silence. You were given power because you're meant to move mountains, not just decorate them. There's a reason the rewards didn't show up earlier. The universe doesn't waste blessings on the unready. It had to make sure you wouldn't trade purpose for applause or hoard the gift out of fear. Because blessings that aren't used with intention, they rot, and nothing stings more than watching something divine decay in your own hands because you were too scared to move. This isn't about being flashy, this is about being effective. When you were down, you begged for a way out, and now that you're being handed tools, the question is, what will you build? You are not just chosen to receive, you are chosen to activate, to multiply, to transform rooms, lives, timelines. Holding onto your gift without using it is like sitting in a locked car with the engine running. You will eventually suffocate from your own potential. The most dangerous thing a chosen one can do is confuse preservation with fear. This is your wake-up call. Don't sit on what you've been given. Move with it, shape it, let it ripple. Because here's the truth, if you don't use it, it will be reassigned. The universe has no problem passing the torch to someone bold enough to carry it. So ask yourself, are you really waiting, or are you hiding? Number 11. One compromise can shatter everything. Guard your integrity like gold. Chosen one, when you carry the kind of energy that bends reality, the world will try to reshape you, not with force, but with temptation. It won't always look evil. Sometimes it'll dress like opportunity. It'll sound like just one little exception. But make no mistake, one wrong compromise can burn down everything you've quietly built in the shadows. People don't realize how expensive integrity is until they lose it. You weren't called to follow the easy path. You were called to hold the line when everything in you wants to fold, to stand tall when shortcuts whisper sweet lies in your ear. That's why you've been tested in private, because the universe had to know you're unshakable, even when no one is watching. The ones who move without integrity might win in the short term, but their victories come with expiration dates. Yours are eternal. But here's the warning. The higher you rise, the more seductive the offers become, and the more costly a single yes can be to the wrong thing. Think of your journey like a glass staircase. Each step you took was built on truth, courage, and alignment. One crack, one lie, one compromise, and the whole thing can collapse. And if it falls, you're the one who pays the price, not them. You have to remember who you are. You weren't chosen to impress the crowd. You were chosen to shift the entire atmosphere. That means protecting your energy, your name, your path. Like gold, rare, untouched, untainted. So when the moment comes, and it always comes, when someone says, just bend a little, you don't. You don't lower your standard to meet their comfort. You don't dilute your vision for easier approval. You keep your spine straight and your soul clean. Because power without integrity, it's self-destruction in disguise. Guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. Chosen ones don't beg for seats, they build the table, and the price of that seat is never your integrity. Number 12. Don't just grow, build a legacy that outlives you. Chosen one, growth is not the goal, legacy is. Anyone can grow, but not everyone leaves something behind that echoes long after they're gone. You weren't born just to survive, elevate, or win. You were chosen to build something that reverberates through generations. Your power isn't in how fast you rise. It's in how deeply you're rooted while rising. This journey you're on, every struggle, every breakthrough, it's not just shaping you, it's laying the blueprint for those who come after you. The battles you fought in silence, the strength you pulled from places no one could see, that's your legacy in motion. Think about it. You didn't come this far just to post wins and disappear. You're not here for momentary applause. You're here to shift culture, energy, and entire bloodlines. So, don't get caught in the trap of short-term thinking. Anyone can level up, but it takes vision to lay a foundation so solid that others can walk on it. Build systems, not just stories. Teach, lead, document, create. Your growth means little if it doesn't open doors for someone else. Every time you speak life into someone who's doubting themselves, every time you leave behind wisdom someone can pick up years from now, you're extending your fingerprint across time. Let your name become a code, a frequency, something people feel before they even meet you. Make your energy so unforgettable it becomes a map for the next chosen one trying to find their way out of darkness. And don't just aim to be remembered, aim to be studied. Chosen ones aren't just flames. We become torches, lighting the way forward. If you've grown, that's powerful, but now is the time to multiply the impact. Write this in the comments if you know your journey is bigger than you. My legacy is in motion. And if this hits your spirit, like this video and subscribe, because we're not just talking growth, we're talking immortality through purpose. As we come to the end of this powerful journey, remember this. What you're stepping into is far greater than personal success. It's purpose, it's legacy, it's alignment. You didn't choose the easy path, you chose the meaningful one. That's what sets you apart. Every step forward from here isn't just progress, it's proof that faith over fear always wins. So don't stop now. Keep building, keep rising, and keep protecting what's sacred inside you. If this message awakened something deep within you, like this video, subscribe to the channel and comment, "I'm walking in alignment." The real ones will feel it.